rapper Pooh Shiesty has been going through a lot in jail as of late. From showing up to his court hearing wearing a turtle suit, to even his lawyers constantly asking for bail, here's how Pooh Shiesty will be getting released, and it's from an amazing reason. Now we need to speak about this, so let's get straight into it. Now Pooh Shiesty has been battling 2 court cases right now. In these 2 cases, there's witnesses and surveillance footage proving that Pooh Shiesty used firearms towards 3 individuals. Now obviously things look very terrible. Luckily for Shiesty, one of the cases may now be dismissed in court due to the man that Shiesty used a firearm on no longer wants to press charges on him. Now while at the King of Diamonds club, Memphis rapper Pooh Shiesty was performing for a crowd. During one of his performances on that night, Shiesty was seen having $40,000 of cash sitting in his back skinny jeans pocket. Now according to the arrest warrant, Shiesty was performing at this club when somebody in the crowd noticed the stack of money in his back pocket. When Pooh Shiesty got close to the crowd while performing, the individual smacked the stack of cash out of his pocket. $40,000 of cash ended up falling onto the floor. That's when the crowd took all of the money and ran directly out of the club. Pooh Shiesty was seen storming out of the club, and while exiting, a fan that was sitting in the back row just so happened to record Shiesty pulling a firearm out of his waistband while exiting the club. Now a witness that was outside of the club claims that Shiesty used a firearm towards a security guard that was standing at the front door of the club. Now Shiesty and his boys obviously exited the scene. Medical attention came quickly for the security guard, but here's where it gets interesting. Now allegedly, when medical attention swarmed the security guard, one of the paramedics ended up giving the security guard some sort of narcotic to calm him down so he would not feel any pain. And well, this now turns into a massive update in the court case. Now the security guard no longer wants to press charges against the Memphis rapper. The security guard takes back all statements that he gave law enforcement at the scene. He claims that he doesn't remember if he saw Shiesty aim and use a firearm towards him. And this is all due to whatever one of the paramedics gave him at the scene. So he does not want to take the Memphis rapper to court as he doesn't remember if Shiesty used a firearm towards him. Now at Shiesty's next court hearing, this information will become present to the judge. And well, this will probably give Pooh Shiesty a very high chance of being released from jail. If this case is closed due to the security guard no longer wanting to press charges, Shiesty will still have to battle one more case, but his lawyers are already on top of it. Now in this case, it basically goes as followed according to the arrest records. It states that rapper Pooh Shiesty met 2 individuals inside of a parking lot. Shiesty arrives to the scene driving a bright green McLaren sports car. When Shiesty and his boys arrived, they hopped out of their cars and met the 2 men. Originally, they were only supposed to be buying high-end sneakers as well as some narcotics. Now at the time, Shiesty was wearing a mask over his face. This made it very tough for law enforcement to figure out who it was until Shiesty released photos to his Instagram flexing the all-green McLaren that he just did a robbery in. But everything was going normal at the scene. Shiesty was showing these 2 individuals inside of his McLaren, and right when the transaction was about to go down for the goods, Shiesty basically said, "No, I'm good. This is now a robbery." Shiesty then pulls a firearm out. He uses it towards 2 individuals in that parking lot. He ended up hitting one in the hip and the other one in the backside. This was all without knowing that there was surveillance footage basically on every single building near that parking lot, and there was a police station literally 2 buildings away. After the act was done, Shiesty then hopped back into his all-green McLaren with the goods. But while trying to rush and grab the sneakers and narcotics to make a getaway, a Louis Vuitton bag then falls out of the butterfly doors of his McLaren. Now in this Louis Vuitton duffel bag was $40,912 all in cash. Now you're not going to believe this, but Shiesty, he uploaded several photos to his Instagram page of him doing the money stretch across his body. And basically the feds downloaded all of these photos. They zoomed in on all of them, and the serial number on one of the bills found on his Instagram page matched with one of the bills that was found in the Louis Vuitton bag. Now, not only does this prove that this was Shiesty's vehicle and bag of money, but it proves that it was Shiesty who did this act towards two individuals. It also doesn't help that Shiesty on Instagram flexed this all green McLaren, showing his face and basically proving that he is the owner of the vehicle. Now this is obviously very severe evidence. As everyone knows, photo and video evidence in court is practically impossible to beat. Pooh Shiesty was then hit with federal charges of conspiracy to possess firearms with an act of robbery and using the firearm in a robbery. Shiesty will be looking at facing a maximum of 20 years in prison for each of the conspiracy to possess firearms during the robbery. But the most concerning part of it all is that his lawyers are having a hard time figuring out what to do. Now, an easy way of looking at this court case, Florida has a very easy rule to understand. It's called the 10-20 life rule. Now this means you will be put in prison for 10 years if you pull out a firearm without a license. You'll be put into prison for 20 years if you pull out a firearm and use it towards someone without defending yourself and no one in the end was affected. Then you'll be sentenced to 25 years to life in prison if you pull out a firearm, use it towards someone, and that person is then affected by it. Now, Pooh Shiesty was caught on surveillance using a firearm towards two individuals, all for a pair of sneakers and narcotics. Mind you, he had $40,000 in cash in the Louis Vuitton bag that he could have easily just paid for these items with no issue. Now this is where Pooh Shiesty then got arrested and brought into county jail. Shiesty's lawyers acted quickly to set up a bail hearing for him, but then we saw Shiesty arrive to his court hearing wearing a turtle suit. So typically when in jail, if you're having a hard time, saying things about your own life, crying, things in that nature, law enforcement will actually take your clothing and give you this suit to wear instead. Seeing Pooh Shiesty in this suit almost tells you how this court case is gonna go. There is a chance that Shiesty will be getting released on house arrest until his trial begins, but it will be done secretly. But anyways, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you're new. It's been District Trending, and I'm out. Peace.